Hey, how's it going now, guys? What the hell is going on? PMT, Play Music Today, is gone. Disappeared. On the 11th of June 2025, it was announced that PMT is no longer a thing. Now, if you don't know PMT, if you're not from the UK, PMT is the largest branch of brick and mortar music shops that we have across the UK. If you are from the UK, you probably know what PMT is about, an amazing music chain that stocks all sorts of musical equipment. So think of your equivalent in your own country if you're watching from abroad. This is massive news, and right off the back of a video I did probably about a month or two ago, about another popular music store, GAC, that went under. And both of these shops have been absorbed by Gear for Music. Well, they've bought all the stock really, and I'll give you a bit more info a bit later in the video about all this. And guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this recent development. Let me know your thoughts on PMT, your experiences, and yeah, follow the channel if you love music, if you love guitars, if you love anything music related. Really love your input, and yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. But yeah, this is insane, guys. Like, for me personally, music shops are vital, just in terms of fueling that passion, that interest, understanding what instrument you're into. I was lucky in my youth to be able to access quite a few different music shops in my local town, and also be able to access things like PMT that weren't a million miles away. Really fuel that passion. And make informed choices about what instruments you like. Sounds like a lot of this happened out the blue. I don't know if you're aware of more of the ins and outs of what happened with this situation regarding PMT. Let me know. If you are an ex-employee, let us know in the comments how it went down. And first and foremost, my thoughts go to all the guys that have lost their jobs because of this, because it's just horrendous how these things happen, isn't it? So yeah, 100% feel for you guys. But what I like to do is just have a bit of a run through as to what's actually happened and what this means. And yeah, another massive UK guitar music shop has just gone. The high streets now have a huge musical gap because of this across the UK. Do a bit of a deep dive and see what's gone on. So as a brief overview, it looks like PMT closed on the 11th of June 2025. This meant that all of its 11 stores closed with immediate effect, and unfortunately this has meant that 96 redundancies have been made, with 48 employees retained to assist administrators during the transition. And obviously, straight off the bat, massive thoughts to anyone that's lost their jobs. It's always brutal, horrendous when these things happen. I'd love to know how it went down. Did you guys get any heads up? Did it come out of the blue? And ultimately, I hope you all kind of find your feet, end up finding something in the very near future. Now, the administrators have cited a perfect storm of industry pressures that have contributed to these closures, notably shrinking margins, so, you know, the competitive nature of the musical instrument industry, consumer confidence, because of basically how rubbish our economy is at the moment, fixed costs and overheads, so, you know, rent, business rates that are only increasing. You know, this isn't just relative to the music instrument industry, but any shop on the high street is feeling these pressures. And finally, they cite supply chain pressures because of other recent insolvencies. And yeah, like I've said, really sad to see PMT disappear off the high street. I'm sure for a lot of communities, music communities, this is a massive loss. But what's happened to all this stock? Well, Gear for Music have swooped in yet again, as they did with GAC just a couple of months ago, and they have bought all key assets, including inventory and certain intangible assets, which covers an estimated cost value of 2.4 million in stock, as well as trademarks, website domains, and commercial data worth a further 1.2 million. And as happened with GAC, if you click on PMT's website, it goes straight to an information page on the Gear for Music website and gives you a bit more info. Unfortunately as well, for the customer, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to get any refunds, your warranties are gone, if you've got any gift cards, it's all void now. Which is horrendous, you know. This is the ripple effect of these closures. It still affects the customer. You might be paying off something. Are you going to get that money back? Are you going to get that item? It's going to be a bit of a challenge now to get any answers on that front. I did a little bit of research, and to be honest, it looks like PMT's been struggling for a little while. I noted in 2022 their flagship store in Southend-on-Sea closed, which was coincidentally the same time as their rebrand, which was a bit mad. And since 2022 to 2025, it looks like a few shops closed in that period as well. So I don't think PMT struggles are new. I just wonder how much current staff knew about how dire the situation was. Because to be honest with you, I was in PMT a couple of months ago, and you know, it was going, it was buzzing. So really mad how quickly these things happen. And another knock-on effect of this closure is, like it said, the YouTube channel's gone. Well, technically it's still there, but all the videos are gone, the content is not on there anymore. And that was a fantastic resource for people that wanted to just catch any kind of cool music, instrument information. But yeah, loads of subscribers, and that's it, just nothing left for them to watch. And to be fair, if any of you PMT viewers want to jump ship and join this channel, come aboard. You know, I don't wear leather jackets, I don't have a Geordie accent, but I love music. If you do too and want to get involved, you are more than welcome. But ultimately for me, this is really sad to hear. This is the largest brick and mortar chain of music shops to go in the UK, which is huge, absolutely huge. You know, coinciding with the loss of GAC just a few months ago, I recently heard about Hiscox cases, amazing cases. 40 years of awesome business and expertise just going because I guess how difficult the market is. Interesting to note, I did look on the Instagram, PMT Instagram, and they put a post up 3 days ago, which would have around about coincided with the closure. However, this could be coincidental because you can kind of schedule posts, can't you? So maybe that was the case. But I guess in terms of their online presence, there didn't appear to be any sign that things were tricky behind the scenes. But obviously things went downhill pretty fast, and like I say, big thoughts go out to all the staff. Really hope you guys land on your feet. And yeah, guys, if you're watching this, let me know your thoughts on this closure. Let me know your thoughts on PMT and just the music shop scene in general. It's a tough climate in the UK right now. What's it like wherever you are? I'd love to know. Put it in the comments. Okay, so that's a bit of a summary as to what's actually occurred again. It's just crazy how this has happened. So PMT, you know, just a bit of the history. It started in 1991. In Southend-on-Sea, and opened up 15 other shops across the country. And for me, like PMT, I remember going the first time to a PMT shop. You know, like I said, I was lucky, I had local shops I could go to and they were great. But PMT, when you walked in and saw everything, drums, bass, keyboards, a wall of guitars, some brands you've never seen before. I remember I saw my first PRS guitar at a PMT shop, and at that time, I want to say it was probably early 2000s. I think it was probably the Birmingham shop. I remember me and my friends going there. My mate was looking at the drums, I was looking at the guitars, and that was the first left-handed PRS I ever saw. I was able to actually hold this PRS, which was something I'd never been able to do in my local guitar shops. That was what was amazing about those stores. And guys, I think again, these kinds of things make me realise how important being able to access guitar shops are. I read an article on the BBC and some of the people saying that they'd meet other musicians there. You'd get gigs out of going to guitar shops. You'd actually be able to make informed choices about what instrument you want. You know, I've got a really good example. So this guitar, I would never have bought this guitar if I didn't go to a guitar shop. I'm sure that's a common story for a lot of musicians, walking away with stuff you didn't intend to buy. But no, what I mean is I intended to buy a Strat. I had in my mind what I wanted. The guitars that were in store, well, being left-handed, didn't have the best choice in the world, but there were a couple of guitars. The one I thought that I wanted was on the wall and this was next to it. But actually being able to be there, test it, play it, feel it, hear it in the shop and compare made me choose this, and I've never regretted that. This is my favourite guitar and has been since whenever I bought it. It was because I was able to go into a shop, have conversations with the people there, make an informed choice with people that had a bit more knowledge and expertise, and feel it. You know, when you see a picture of guitar, or even watching videos of guitar, it's not the same. And that's what is tragic about the loss of these places. And like I said in the GAC video, we've got to look after our guitar shops, man. If you know, support your local shops. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against the online world. I think it's amazing. The accessibility, what you can get now is unbelievable. You know, it's fantastic. We've got that resource and ability to get all this stuff online and get a bit of a vibe from these videos. But It's not the same. And I get it is tough out there. The music industry is really, really struggling, particularly the music instrument industry. The economy's rubbish, let's be real. People haven't got a lot of cash to spend, and instruments aren't cheap, you know, that's the reality. If people can't afford their food, they can't afford an expensive piece of wood with strings on it. Do you know what I mean? We've got to weigh up the priorities, but if you can, support your local shops, support local independent makers, because if we don't, they're going to go, and that would be a massive, massive shame. You know, I mentioned in the video about Hiscox cases, 40 years, quality cases. I saw them at the guitar show in Birmingham. You wouldn't have a clue that things were really tricky, particularly with a notable brand like that. But it just shows you how quickly things can change, or what might be bubbling behind the scenes that we aren't aware of. And I wonder if that's been the case for PMT for a while. But yeah, it's sad, guys. But if you can, just keep supporting your locals. It's not easy for them, man. If these big shops can go under at a day's notice, these guys are probably in the same boat, just keeping their heads afloat. Even if you buy a pack of strings, do you know what I mean? Go in there, play a guitar, just buy a plectrum or something, support the shop. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences of PMT, any thoughts on the current situation. Yeah, if you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, follow the channel. If you love music, yeah, really, really appreciate your input. And yeah, again, big thoughts to all the guys that lost their jobs. Hope you land on your feet. Cheers, guys. Take it easy.